Mind that there is a distance from where she is to the distance where she's going, the hassle, the congestion and traffic, the risk of getting involved in an accident, if she does, the medical cost to it, the vehicle insurance attached to that as well, and the loss of time and money it is. Instead of then, and if she does get there on time, she then gets to hear that the office is closed or they are out of power, which is a norm in our day-to-day business in offices here. It be parastatals or small offices. Instead of then having an e-commerce app platform that allows all these variants errand under one umbrella. So let's say our virtual investor or potential investor, let's say, is in Italy as we speak, and should like to run an errand down here. Then this sufficient app would then be able to assist her in expediting that timely and efficiently. Statista is a global institute and has predicted or stated that the e-commerce sector was valued at about 66 billion in 2019 and is expected to grow about 32.9% between 2020 and 2027. Of course, when people aren't going back to the traditional ways of doing their daily day-to-day business again. The marketing strategy. Everyone is our customer, especially those customers seeking quality service and a lifestyle of convenience. With, let's say, having a market of 0.5 clients in the world, based on the current population, we tend to be rendering service to about 40 million customers worldwide. The existing market currently for my competitors would be the likes of the Egos, Uber, InDrive, Taxi Connect, and Lefa. However, Lefa being restricted to Windhoek only. Our strategy for boosting the company would be the influence leveraging, activations, affiliating transport unions, and. To get some sales strategy, we like to use some incentives, which is now retainer discount, client discount, rewards, and so forth. I'm not going in detail now on the price, because of time. Thank you. Our model basically would be to have a platform where anyone can then tap on, we're able to do or to put in a request for booking, and the freelancers all over the world would then claim that, expedite the errand, and get majority of the funds out of it. And then we would then be getting about 10 to 25% commission basis on each errand being run by the app, where of course the customer can be able to request, track, and see whether the item is being delivered or expedited, and then get to successfully pay. We are not limited compared to our competitors at this very moment. Know your customer policy, of course, will be enhanced through this app, creating a lifelong relationship with our customers. For the existing platforms, there's an existence loop for ad hocs, of course, and that would be to add our services to their platforms. The market fit at this moment, pardon my cartoonistic touch there. At the moment, let's use a hotel for example. Tourism industry in Namibia. For those that have traveled, you know when you land, the only people you get to trust are the people you're mostly interacting with, which is your Uber driver perhaps, or your front desk receptionist, which of course might not be very helpful in running errands. So then app would then suffice. Similar to when one is hospitalized, the outside world still continues. And with the retirement homes, the plan is to have then contract deals where we do delivery on a monthly or weekly running errands for the elderly is. Traction. We've been tried and tested for 5 years, generating about 650,000, servicing 5 to 7 customers, plus minus at break even. This app then helps us reduce the cost for operational costs, and selection of freelancers will be dealt whereby they will have to be vetted for criminal record and given small training, and then write a test in order to be part and parcel of this. Our financial projections. With our one vehicle for sale, for example, let's say we generate in a monthly 13,000 give or take, which we do about 100 tasks or 100 runs for that one fleet. If let's say we give it 1 month of launching the app, let's say we have 4 fleets, we expect to generate about 50,000 Namibian dollars. And a year from that, with let's say 100 fleets, we expect to make about 1.6 million. And we expect to break even at about 6 to 8 months. And the long-term end of financial projections is, let's say we launch in Windhoek or Namibia. When we then part to South Africa, when we extend to Angola, elsewhere in the world, we'll have a joining fee, a representative fee usually, where someone that joins in, pays a specific amount, and then we assist them with the marketing and so forth in that specific country, or then we give them the outline of what we need to do. I'm the founder and director, and I've been running this business for about 7 years. I've done some leadership training, and I've been in customer service for about 10 years, to be exact. We are seeking 180,000 for completion of our app and marketing it is to dominate the diversification of the logistics sector. After, of course, COVID-19, and that has changed the whole lot of traditional ways of doing things. I then thank you. My name is Silvanus. Good day.
Thank you, Silvanus. I have 2 questions for you. I think the first one would be, I personally don't like downloading apps on my phone. Is there any way you could have this as a web app, for instance? So that way I can just go to a website and request. And what is the pros? I mean, why an app instead of doing that? This is the question. Secondarily, instead of having your own fleet that could be expensive, why don't you partner up with? Because when you partner up with another entity, like recently, I think one of the entities we invested in here is 2-point delivery, for instance. And then your app basically receives a request and you work together with them for them to deliver instead of you buying your own fleet. Isn't that something you would consider? It's just 2 questions I have.
The one question, yes, we can be a website can be created if not an app. Because of course a web would be easier to maintain than an app. However, where the world is going today, I'm not sure on the implications or the technical implications that one would have with an app, the website. I'm not quite familiar on that one. The second one, joining an existing firm. Yes, it's possible. And we had no plans on buying our own fleet. It would be freelancers joining on with their fleet. We just create a platform for them. Similar to the 2-point, we create a platform and they execute. Those that have the capacity and so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. My question is on risk management. I think 2 and 2. The first one is, I don't know if I saw correctly that there's cash on delivery. So that's the first question. How do you manage that no delivery is done and you don't, a delivery is done and you don't receive the cash? I may have seen it incorrectly, but that's just on that. And the second one is, I'm assuming you want to use a model similar to Uber, I guess in some sense, where you get freelancers to join on. And then, now my question is as well, there's a risk element there. I think you may briefly have touched on it. How do you what do you have in place to manage that risk? I think if you go back to Uber, or you can even think of Airbnb, but basically using like almost like, I don't want to say strangers, but like these freelancers. So vetting becomes quite a very significant risk, and ultimately possibly also could be a huge cost for you to some extent.
Thank you. Just repeat your first question again.
My first question was risk management as it relates to cash, and I was giving the example of
As we've been in existence for 5 years, our trial and error has been that clients had an issue with trust because it's a new venture in Namibia also. So we've had this back and forth with trust. How do I get to trust you with me giving you my money to do my license disc renewal, for example? So we've then had to start doing, we've done errands for Old Mutual before. They've given us it was a Christmas package for their clientele, executive clientele. And I believe with that, we then, rubbing shoulder with Old Mutual, at least assisted us to gain more trust from the public. And apart from that, based on the risk, we will not be acquiring a lot of risk because our risk will be distributed to the freelancers. Our vetting process then will allow us to do a criminal check, which of course it's in every country and every police station.
So my question on the risk side, if ultimately, how do you make money from the freelancers? If they're the ones that are getting the cash, how do you make sure that you get the dollar in your door? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if my question is not clear.
Okay. Then the plan was for whoever then downloads the app will then be able to register. Once you register, we give you an option. If let's say we then go out to buy, let's say you'd like to buy flowers for your mother perhaps. So you then would say, oh listen, I'd like to go out and run this specific errand, buy my flowers. However, I want to pay only after it is done. It's not a problem. We will charge you in a little bit extra because of us having to use our own money. It is. So then the freelancer, him tapping on, will have to use a specific petty cash on his account, which of course every other freelancer or every other user or one rendering the service should have an account, which of course will have a specific petty cash in it. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Not really, but it's fine.
That's it.
Thank you for the pitch. I wanted to ask two things. So one, it kind of builds on my colleague's question about the risk associated with the freelancers. How do you ensure, since you're working with freelancers, how do you ensure that they deliver a quality service and a service in a timely manner and so on? And then I also wanted to ask about your customers. So you've been in business already for 5 years or so. What is the size of your customer base so far, and what percentage of your customers are returning customers?
Okay. Let's start with my customers, current customers. I serve about 7 customers. It is we have clients where we take to school on a daily basis, transporting kids suffering from autism. 2 of them to be specific. We have a florist on our contract basis client. We have a leather business, Cover Leather, a florist, Caribou Flowers. We run errands for APS, a security company. Yes, those are our current contract clients. We have 7 of them. The percent of clientele's, okay, and you mentioned a few years back then, all these clients were just one-time clientele. And they've been our reoccurring clientele, and therefore they have encouraged us to sign contracts with them. The risk involved in using freelancers, for example, we then have when one gets to register, there'll be a questionnaire, and they'll be allowed to write at least an entry test. Unfortunately, it won't be for everyone because there needs to be some basic efficacy level and understanding of specific things. Customer service it is. as we believe we've been in the business for some time and we have become the epitome of customer service. So at least these are the type of things we'd like to make sure our freelancers have before then going in the field, and give them a small pre-package to be able to run their errands out there.
Angels, the angels to my left. Don't want to pick on anyone. Any questions?
Thank you. Mine is, you have been running this for 5 years now. You're running it on a full-time basis or it's a side hustle? And the other one is, what do you see, I mean, once you have gotten the investment, what will be your biggest cost driver? Is it labor? Is it technological support? Where do you see spending most of your money, most of that investment?
So what's the first one again?
Is this a side hustle?
Yes. Okay, no, it has always been a full-time job for me. We started off taking taxi. Now we have 2 fleets. So yeah, that's the one. It's a full-time business. And the funds mostly will be used for marketing. Technological support in app, we are 25-30% completed in the app. Still about 70% we need to complete, and most of the funds will be headed into marketing.
Thank you.